Hello, this is Vance, and this is Wednesday, February the 6th, 2013. And these are the CL trades for today, basically. I mean, it was quite the day today. I mean, this big major sell-off, and then it kind of ate it all back up and went right to match the high. What a day. I mean, here I was thinking we might even go lower, but that wasn't the case, so he had to be on the right side of the trend. Frankly, I wasn't here most of the day. I had to work at my other job, and so I was gone pretty early. So I was finished by just after just at 9 o'clock. I waited for the open, saw this, and that was pretty much it. But I took a trade early, right here, and I saw this as a pullback to this trend line that I had drawn, and I took a short here. And basically, that was one trade. I wrote it down here, and I got out, and that was it. And that was all the trading that I had to do today, which turned out okay. But there were some other trades, and I'm kind of disappointed that I wasn't around because there were some pretty good setups, except for the fact that these little bars here, they're very strange. I mean, you could look at these things, price is moving up, but it's so reluctant. And remember, 800 tick, that's 800 transactions for each of those bars. I don't recall ever seeing it as this tiny, but the trend was certainly up. And look at all the transactions that we had here. I mean, this is, and yet, they're just really duking out. We usually have some bigger moves in this, so I can't explain it. I just know that the trend was up. This right here, let me just make this bigger so it's easier to see. Well, this trade here was a pullback, and it was as a failure. Now, price, I should maybe talk about what the overnight range was. Price was opened at 96.74, got all the way down to 95.04, so that was 170 ticks. It got down to the daily low, and if you got on the trade right at the bottom, then there was some setups, and if you played it right and you had your stops wide enough below here, you could have ridden this thing all the way to the top. Man, that would have been great. Even holding through this. I'm sure there's some people that did it. I'd like to hear from you. Put your stop down here and just ride the thing and manage the thing all the way up. That was pretty much right from the open, right away up. Gathered up this all back. I mean, that happens. And I was looking at some back. If you look back a couple of days, where was it? Look at this. This was on the 1st, February 1st. Look at this. Price went down and ate it all the way back up. Man, that was like a repeat pattern of the day, from a couple of days ago. Can you imagine that if you would have recognized this? Oops, I recognize this as a repeat pattern, and it's going up in that direction. Anyway, I don't know. Here, this particular trade here, let me make this bigger. Yes. There you go. Yeah, that's better. The only reason I have to do this wider is because these bars. This particular trade here, going here, that's a second entry long. Price makes a new high. First entry right here. Pull back. Second entry right there. Second entry long. Should mark that. I did mark it. So that's a second entry long right here. You see that's a nice bar to go long on. It's it's a bull bar, closed right on its high, and it kind of rocketed out of here. Let's take a look at this one. This price attempts to, we have a pullback, basically kind of a two-legged pullback. But you can argue that this is kind of a second entry long as well. Price makes this high here, or gets to this high. It pulls back the first time. Now, this is your first entry down here, okay, right across here. But notice this is a double top. It spiked up and spiked down, and it came down, but it immediately failed. So it's kind of if you eliminate this part, which I think is just a knee-jerk reaction, let's call it, it's a second entry long. I mean, every reason to go long on a day like this after you find this first couple of swings, because what I was looking at, I mean, you really don't have this. What you have is really probably this. Off the first couple of swings, right? Like off these bars right here. That's what I would look at, okay? Something like that. So, gather up these bars. Now, when price comes back down here, you do basically have, a pullback. This is a double bottom across here, wider double bottom. That was the way to go long. And if you gather this up here, extend it out this way, This area here, this is a tougher one. Let's kind of make this a little bit bigger. Why I would think this would be a long? Because the trend is up. And I think this is a consolidation pattern. And even though these are dojis, remember what I said about dojis, and they're like, prices we're going to have a tough time to figure it out. But this is, take a look at this way. First way, move up. We have this conglomeration. And this is really the second move up. Look at how where price started to falter again. So based on that, I would have gone long on this. I would recommend going long here. It didn't quite come down to this EMA, but certainly came down to this line. You can see that where was price closing? Right along this line here. Look at those prices. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that before either. I mean, this is a day of strange wonders. Price moves up to this area. And you can see the measured move. We have the first failure back. We have a second failure back. It touches the EMA. Another place to go long. This is also a second entry long. Price makes a new high here, right? Right across these tops. This is the first entry. Pull back, second entry. Yes, this is, but it looks like a pattern. And if it looks like a pattern, it's probably going to behave like a pattern. So it's like a second entry long. Another opportunity to kind of get in here. This is maybe not quite as clear. I mean, what you can do at this point is that when you have this touches right here, maybe move your trend line up more like this. Because now it gathers up these ones here, through here, and it gathers up this one. So you can make this argument that this is another opportunity to get in. But again, every reason to get in long. Would I have gotten in long? I mean, I don't know. I'm long back here. I'm long back here. I mean, if you're waiting this long to get in long, I think it's kind of late in the day, particularly when we're getting close to these tops. I don't know. Like, look at this, right across here. So that was another reason. Now, at the tops here, yeah, there's a couple of reasons to get in here. I mean, but then it started getting right. So spike and channel. I mean, are there some trades in? Yeah, there's some trades in here. But, if you can't see these ones, I mean, you're not going to see these ones, that's for sure. I mean, you're in trouble. So I'm not even going to talk about those things. I'm not going to kind of split hairs. You got to see these things. I mean, all right? And that's pretty much it. Anyway, another thing that people are asking me about second entries and trying to define these things, and they're asking me on my journal. And, I've covered second entries like every which way from Sunday over all the last, you have to go through all the pages. I don't know where they are. I'm not going to conglomerate them. I mean, I'm talking about second entries every second day. People with second entries, they're always asking about second entries. I mean, they're not that hard to figure out. I mean, they might be a little bit tricky to see, but maybe I'm trying to define it for you. So go back over the other stuff. I mean, I did one a couple of days ago for James, I guess. I mean, it talked about second entries there, but it really is only a two-leg pullback to an area of support resistance. And that's either pullback, going in a bear market or a pullback in a bull market. I mean, that's what it is. It's really two legs back to an area of support or resistance. That's very simple. Now, on the 800 tick, if you use a lower time frame chart, you might see more of them. I use the 800 tick because when you see a second entry, when I see like two pullbacks on the 800 tick, for me it's easier to define. And if it's hard to see, it's only because I'm thinking in terms of a shorter time frame. That's what probably is causing the problems, but I can see that. And one thing that you have to recognize is, I'm explaining it, but you may have to come to the realization that maybe you're never going to see it, unfortunately. But what can I say? I'll try to give you all the information that I can, but if you can't see it, you really can't see it. So stick to these ones are easiest to see. Don't overcomplicate it. Look at the easy ones. These are easiest to see. I mean, let me point this out. That's obviously a second entry. You can see that. Price makes a new high. First pullback, second pullback. That is a second entry. That's easy to see. This one, because of the spike, it might have fooled you a little bit. But look where the price is. Price is here. This is the first entry. This is the second entry. And it's with trend. So, yeah, you have to eliminate that. It looks close to being a second entry, so you have to kind of go with it. Is this a second entry? Not really, but you can see that there's resistance, and this is more like matching lows. This is more like the line that the price is up. So that's what this one is like. This is second entry. Price makes a new high. First entry. Pullback, second entry right there, and it's with trend. So there's 1, 2, 3 pretty easily definable second entries. Okay, there's not this. Why wouldn't you not take it? Is there a second entry over here? No, there isn't. Is there a second entry? Is there a second entry here? Well, yeah, maybe. But the reason I wouldn't like this one is because we're so far away from the EMA. We haven't touched the trend line. We haven't touched the EMA. So yes, this is, price makes a new high. First entry. Yes, this could be arguably a second entry, but it's on a doji and it's away from the EMA. And, this one here gives you another opportunity. You can wait. Wait. There's nothing wrong with patience. Remember, patience in this thing. Why is this one? This is a strong bar. This is a strong rejection. And this is another strong bar. Yes, it went down and came back, but it closed on its high. That's a better entry. Way better than this one. Anyway, what can I say? Maybe I should do it this way. Let's try it this way. Let's try it one bar at a time. See if this helps. Okay. Look where we are. Way out from the EMA. And I already showed you this measure move. Right? Okay. Measure move. First move up. Pulls back. Second move up. Okay. So it's probably an area of an exhaustion. So I'm saying if I'm in this trade here, I'm looking at getting out somewhere here. I mean, how much further is it going to go up? Okay. So we get this bar here. Oh, bear bar. So I've got my stop moved up right under here now because of this bear bar. Because I don't know, like might fail. Oh, very close, right? Touch it. Now, I've still got my stop down here. I'm hopeful that it's going to continue to go up. Oop, doesn't look good. Now it pulls back. Ooh, now it's a doji. Now it's indecision. So now I've got two dojis in this line. So now this really looks like rejection. Okay, this is a second entry, arguably. Am I going to go long when I see these first failure, second failure? I mean, is this really a good place to go long when I haven't really touched this trend line? I haven't really come back, and I'm still in this trade from down here, or from down here? Am I going to add on at this point in time? Oh, another doji. More indecision. Oh, now I got my stop hit. I'm out. Okay? Because I've got my stop right under this bar here. I'm out. Oh, touch the trend line. Now we have this turnaround. And this, price went all the way down here, matching low, rejected. So this is the double bottom and closed almost on its high. Now, from a second entry standpoint, price is here, first entry, second entry. I would be very inclined to take this trade because of the fact that it's pulled back to the here twice. Now, if it matches this high, so we're in at 96.31. By the time it gets up here, it's 96.41, I think. Yep, 96.41. So I've got time to get out. I mean, if he even just tests this area, I can move my stop to break even +1. To my mind, that's, if I need to. Now what happens? Boom. No worries. I've already got my 15 ticks off, or I got my first contract off, and, move it break even +1. There we go. Whoa. Simple. Anyways, that's it for now. This is Vance. If you had any questions, please let me know. Bye for now.